We are just exiting the cafe here, the Station Cafe, and it's good to know that they have it open on Fridays for a fish fry. The Station Cafe in Youngwood is open for business on Fridays for a fish fry, and it's a benefit for the museum, which should help the museum to bring in a little support. And it is definitely a worthy project. The museum is a very good idea and needs all the help it can get. This is the station itself. And believe it or not, while we were sitting there, an actual train went past. After we had a good dinner there at the station, I got my camera out and took a few pictures of things that they had hanging in the Station Cafe on the walls where we ate. This was something that was done by a fellow who had early memories from Youngwood. He later, I believe, moved to Ligonier and then New Jersey. A guy by the name of Stairs, Hank Stairs. And his early memories were recorded in paintings. He had good experiences that he recorded in visual artwork that is worth noting. This is a really good one, looking south at the Youngwood Railroad Station. There's another one. This one, I want to pass along apologies to the artist because it was under glass and I could not really capture it without getting reflections in the on the glass surface. But I wanted to pass this along because it has the streetcar. A lot of people know that the railroad went through Youngwood and stopped at the station there, which is also included. And this is Youngwood up on, behind it. But a lot of people don't realize that for a good many years, there was streetcar service there. As early as 1901, West Penn put a streetcar line down to Youngwood, and they were having service going up to Greensburg about every half hour. And then it wasn't too long until they started service down into Fayette County. Now this is a painting, actually it's a print of a painting that hangs by the door, to the left of the door as you're going out in the station there. And when I looked at it, I first thought that it was a photograph. And then as I looked closely, I realized this is not a photograph, this is a painting. It's by a guy I actually met, Fred Conacher. When I met Fred, he was working in mostly three-dimensional models of various historic sites up in Cambria County. He's from Crescent, and this nice big locomotive is on the rails on the main line going through Crescent. And somebody who saw this stuff since they were a little kid could not help being impressed by a live steam locomotive. These things were, for the lack of a better word, simply awesome when you see one of these things in action. Not just see them moving, but see the way they actually breathe. The drive piston down here evacuates its steam up through this tube up into the smoke box. And so when it's leaving the steam out from the power stroke, that steam comes up through the smoke box and actually creates more draft for the firebox, which is down here, back here. and it actually increases the amount of airflow going through the system, which is a really, really good engineering thing to do. But what I'm talking about is the way it gives you a visual impression when these things are moving, that they're actually an organic, live creature. And they really inspire you just watching these things going. I remember as a little kid how awesome it was to be asked to come up into the cab by the guys in the cab, and I and my friend were able to, see the thing from inside. And one of the guys, the fireman, put his foot on the pedal and opened the firebox. And he said, "That's what hell will be like, boys." And we definitely were impressed by that. I mean, I'm still talking about it. I really like steam locomotives, no doubt about it. After we went to the station up here and had a good fish sandwich. In addition, they also have pierogies and halupkis. If you're looking for something to do on Friday and a good benefit for the museum. After we had dinner, we wandered down the 5-star trail down to right here. This is where the boiler house used to be. I knew it was there, but I had never studied the area before. This shows a mapping for the area. This is the railroad coming down, another set of tracks coming out. This was the powerhouse right here. This down below was the roundhouse where they kept the engines. This is a better view of the boiler house. And you see right beside the boiler house, there's a track coming in. They could just pull right in with a load of coal and dump coal right in there. You had 6 boilers, which were very hungry. I mean, they would use a lot of coal. On the other side, over here, is what's called a generating room. So they weren't just making steam, they were making electricity there. And all this stuff has gone. I mean, it's all been torn out, but there were some remains that we were prowling around looking for. So the next thing you see is going to be a short video showing what we found there. Actually, that was yesterday, Friday, right down at, right beside the 5-star trail. So that's what comes next. We are down in the area of what used to be the boiler house. And there is an awful lot of debris down here. Rubble. Stuff that tells a story about something having been here once upon a time. This is Jack's Run in the background. That's Jack's Run going over to the other abutments that we saw in a previous video. And as we pan over this way, we get a look at a lot of rubble. And I'm going to wander up here across another big chunk of rubble up into the, it's almost a debris field up here. But what you can see, there's something left. Some cement structural work. It was probably part of what was once the boiler house. We are in the area that was once the boiler house, and most of it has been rather well scraped away. There are times I wish I could just press a button and magically go back to the things that we're looking for. There was obviously something big here. It was a big boiler house. There were no less than 6 boilers that were making steam for the various operations around here that needed steam. Most of the buildings were heated by steam. There were some steam engines. I think we're going to shut this one down.